welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. Adini Ajishafe in a very humiliating way at the Enyimba International exited the African Football League. A lot of Nigerians were not too happy with that performance. It was a big one, very heavy loss coming from Enyimba against Wydad Casablanca in Morocco. Well, that will be the first story we'll be looking at alongside Ikenna Okonkwo, who is in the studio with us to talk sport this hour. Good to have you, Ikenna.
Thank you so much.
You look executive.
Anyway, you know how to hype some of these things, even when it's as simple as possible.
It's part of the job. Anyway, let's start the ball rolling right now as we talk about Enyimba International. The first story we're looking at there that has to do with that team. They journeyed to Casablanca in Morocco and they lost out 3-0 and they're making it 4-0 on aggregate-wise against Wydad Casablanca. What's a defeat? Heaviest of all of the defeat to Enyimba in the history of football in the CAF competition. Really a big one because looking at the fact that our team, that's Enyimba, represents Nigeria in that competition, lost at home in Uyo, and the second leg they also lost by 3-0, making it 4-0. It was a tough one. A lot of Nigerians couldn't believe what happened to Enyimba International. Joining us from Lokoja, we have Ahmad, Emmanuel, who is also standing by. Good to have you, Ahmad.
Good morning to you, Adini Ajishafe, and of course, a lot of our viewers at the moment. I'm in Edo State. Let me just put that straight. Thank you so much.
Okay, good to have you, Ahmad. Right now, starting with that particular story, as you are in Benin City, let's look at Enyimba International crashing out. So, in fact, a very painful one, because a lot of Nigerians follow Enyimba International as our pride. And now, that loss against Wydad Casablanca, both legs, home and away, 4-0. Is something that Nigerians are not too happy about. Let's have your take on this.
Well, to start with, I want to say that I'm disappointed, just like every other soccer lobby in Nigeria is disappointed. Haven't said that much. The first leg we lost at home. I'm saying we because Enyimba is representing Nigeria. I lost at home by a lone goal to a North African side that are very, very deadly. Then I knew it was all over. Even though the coach came out to say they can't turn around or probably turn the table around when they get back to Morocco, I knew he was just giving himself hope and probably giving some, those who actually believe in the team a little bit of hope, And of course, the spirit of football, I will say, you cannot say it is all over until it is over. Going to Morocco, I knew there was no magic Enyimba was going to do because the North African sides are very, very deadly. I'm not underrating Enyimba, but then come to think of it, he is a team that is represented the country like as the champions of the last season MPFL. Okay, now when you have a champion in a country, Nigeria, you probably want to expect nothing but the best from them. But then, considering the standard of the way we're running our league here, again, you want to look deeply and ask some questions. Okay, we had an abridged format of league. By this standard, or should I say by Nigerian standard, I'm so disappointed. Okay, Enyimba, quite a lot of people expect too much from them. But again, coming to talk about the administrative aspect of Enyimba, ex-international, of course, a legend, if you ask me, as far as Nigeria standard is concerned, Okonkwo came on board, I took over. One would think that something very positive will start happening. But from the look of things, it is not the way we actually think or thought it would go, for Enyimba. When you look at their performance, even domestically, you ask some questions, we've not recorded, a very remarkable performance from them, especially on the road. So if Enyimba cannot win an away match this season on the road, how do you think they will go to Morocco, far away in North Africa, and do magic? They crashed out of the CAF Champions League. A lot of people were making up excuses for them. Maybe it was fatigue, maybe the way Emmanuel will end our league and all that. Here comes an opportunity for them to actually prove something, with the main division of the Africa Football League. And here we are talking about them crashing out in a very embarrassing fashion. It's a slap on my face as a soccer lover in Nigeria. So I know a lot of people who love football in Nigeria are deeply disappointed with the performance of Enyimba.
Well, seriously, serious disappointment to Nigerians there for the fact that they expect Enyimba to turn things around, especially in the first leg, but it didn't happen there. Well, while you are still there waiting, let's come back to the studio. We talk with Ikenna Okonkwo. He has mentioned so many things concerning disappointment Nigeria faced concerning Enyimba's performance, being the only team picked from Nigeria, and a lot of expectations. As you remember, even when they were going for the second leg, their goalkeeper was saying, well, they are not giving up, they believe that they can turn things around. But that particular match was lost here in Nigeria after that 1-0 defeat. So with Casablanca in Uyo, do you agree with that?
Of course, you know, it's very unfortunate, really, because Nigerian clubs have not been able to live up to expectation for over a decade now, as long as continental football is concerned. And a lot of factors, you know, are attributable to the downward trend of what has been happening, you know, since 2003, 2004, you know, times that Enyimba won the CAF Champions League. No other Nigerian club has been able to get close to that. And Enyimba being the only club that have been able to put Nigeria on an African map, as long as the continental competitions, whether AFL, Champions League, and the other, you know, are concerned. It goes to show that that team, that club, need lots of overhaul. You see, I've been opportune to visit some clubs, whether in their camp, whether they are, you know, especially when they are about to play towards the weekend and all. And you want to see the kind of players that our clubs are parading. Very old guys. I mean, if you look at clubs that are doing well, even in Africa, the Esperance, the Wadai, I mean, even the other club that beat Rivers United at the quarterfinal of the Confederation Cup last season, you see guys in their 20s, guys that are very young,
agile, energetic,
skillful, and then, you know, skill in football, skill and, you know, fitness, they work hand in hand. If you are skillful and you are already old, there's nothing you can do. The young guys will run you out. And that's exactly what is playing out for us. You know, we see club football as a paddy thing, you know, like we call it in Nigeria. We see it as something that has to do with the coach will see it from the point of, you know, getting my boys to play for me. You know, the club also sees from the point of recruit people from our state, you know, that kind of thing. These things are not, I don't know, it's not football. I don't know what it's called. Do you understand? So you see that our clubs are with people. Okay, look at what happened, you know, I think it's Esperance here in Tunisia. One of our former Flying Eagles players, Onuche, that guy was actually at some point dropped by Flying Eagles, at Flying Eagles.
And really, he did so well yesterday.
And look at what he's doing already with Esperance at his age.
And now they've qualified.
And before he left, no club in Nigeria saw him to be fit to play.
Or good enough.
Or good enough to play. And so, you see, like last weekend, I was in a center for a match. I don't want to mention the center, I don't want to mention the clubs. You see, the kind of old guys that these people parade.
So in a nutshell, now what you are saying
is
we should work on reducing the issue of so many old players in our league.
It should even be that let's start talking about clubs not being owned by the state government anymore. Let the state government sell their clubs to private individuals who are ready to make football a business. Football has left mere recreation and now is in business angle. I mean, for over a decade now, it's been like that. But in Nigeria, we're still trying to catch up, you know, these basics. In the whole of the world, sports generally is the second most, you know, the second most employable sector, sports, after ICT. And football accounts for a very high percentage, even in that sector, sports. So, it's high time as a country we get serious with what is a standard, global standard.
Like someone really mentioned the fact that even administrative-wise, we need to give more attention to sport. Like you mentioned, worldwide, that is the second most employable sector in the world.
In the entire world, after ICT.
And really, something must be done concerning sport in Nigeria. We saw what happened to Enyimba International. According to Ikenna, we need to work on reducing the issue of old players playing their trade in our leagues. Really tell on Enyimba that Willa Casablanca players were agile, energetic, and they were ready to run them down, which they did in both legs. And right now, they are out of that particular very lucrative league set up by CAF, called African Football League AFL, and this is the first edition, and we crashed out in so much kind of unceremonious way, really very painful for Enyimba, who actually conquered Africa back-to-back 2003, 2004, led by Ikenna. What happened to that squad? Right now, they have the chairman in the person of Okonkwo. What's happening to Enyimba International? Well, right now, they'll be back home to face the league. Can they work or smart or harder to see how they can get back to the Continental? They are known for this. So what happened to them? Well, both of them have been talking about Ahmad and also Ikenna Okonkwo, giving their own side of what really went wrong with Enyimba International. Well, Enyimba International, they have it another day for them to at least redeem their image. If they are to do well, both administratively, technically, and also the players on the pitch need to give their best. They tried their best, but it wasn't good enough. Casablanca right now, they scaled through. We move away from that story. Let's quickly talk about Super Eagles. Eagles right now, the current FIFA ranking that are actually being done by FIFA, they still maintain their 48th position in the world, while they remain topmost in Africa. Well, if you look at the way it is right now, they actually have their best time when it comes to football. Or for Super Eagles, looking at the fact that when it comes to football ranking, FIFA always do it every month, but for us to be in 40th position shows that really our football has really dropped. There was a time we were 5th in the world, 18, 20 and all that, but now we are standing 48th in the world. Now look at it in Africa, we are not even number 1, number 2. Well, for Ikenna Okonkwo, look at our Super Eagles. The newest ranking shows us we are retaining 48th position.
40th. You know, so it's a reward or a kind of downward trend that also our national team, Super Eagles, have faced over time. From the Africa Cup of Nations, after we couldn't make it past the groups, was it? No, the round of 16. It's not been easy for the Super Eagles trying to catch up with the ranking and all of those. People were thinking, or talking about after beating Lesotho 16. I mean, Lesotho, even our club that lost to Casablanca, I mean to Wydad,
they should be able to beat Lesotho.
They should be able to beat it. So it's not. If you want to gain ranking, you know, you should be able to beat an Nigerian team in Morocco, Senegalese. I mean, in Africa. Then if after Africa you go to Europe, you try to match those top teams. So it's a lot of stuff to be done. I mean, thank God the Nations Cup is coming up in about 2 months. Well, about 2 months time in Côte d'Ivoire. If we're able to put up good showing at that Nations Cup, I hope we do. We'll be able to after that particular cup, the competition starts. Try to get back to our rightful place and see how we go from there. And then with the World Cup qualifiers as well, that will be starting by next month. In November we're having 2 matches. Mozambique and I've forgotten the other team. So in all of these privileges, opportunities will give the Super Eagles the time to begin to rejuvenate and see how to make it back to their rightful place.
Well, seriously, talking about Super Eagles there concerning their performance recently and the ranking coming from FIFA. If you look at African top 10 FIFA ranking now, we are not even going worldwide. Let's even look at Africa. Really, we have really drawn when it comes to the ranking there. Well, you look at Morocco, Senegal, Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt. Nigeria now standing 6th in Africa. That's really is something that a lot of Nigerians are surprised what's happening. Well, Cameroon trailing us. We have Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, and Burkina Faso in that pecking order. And we're going to AFCON in January. Well, the mantra is let's do it again. Can we do it again with the way it is? Morocco, Senegal, all of them ahead of us in the ranking. And really, when it comes to football development, you can't compare the way our football is being run compared to the way Moroccans, Senegal, Algeria, Egypt are running theirs. We just have to take sport as business. Now, joining us from Benin City, we still have Ahmad Emmanuel there. Ahmad Emmanuel, get ready. Let's talk about the Europa League. A lot of games were played yesterday. We start with the result there quickly on the screen. The result of Europa League, where games were played. And we look at Liverpool running. They were actually running on rampage, winning their games. Liverpool winning 5-1 against Toulouse there. And you look at Olympiacos defeating West Ham 2-1. Freiburg 3-1 against Bacca Topola. Limassol, they lost at home against Real Betis, and you have Storm Graz playing Atalanta. It ended 2-2. But our attention will be on Liverpool, Roma, and all that. Let's look at the second part of the result of that Europa League. Roma won 2-0 against Slavia Prague, and their star, talking about Romelu Lukaku, who has been scoring so much when it comes to Europa League, was able to at least get a goal there. Panathinaikos lost at home against Rennes 1-2, and you have Molde against Hakin 5-1 for Bayer Leverkusen, where our own Victor Boniface was also unsung there against Karabakh of Azerbaijan, and they were able to win convincingly there. Some teams really went on rampage. Now let's look at how it is in that particular group. Well, for the tables right now, West Ham, despite that loss, they are still topping their group. West Ham are topping there ahead of Freiburg, and you look at Group B, Marseille are topping there. Brighton, they fought hard, right? They're standing tall there, beating Ajax, has given it that edge. Group C, you have Real Betis, Sparta Prague, and you look at Group D, Atalanta, with Ademola Lookman there for that team. They are topping their group with 7 points. Liverpool, they went on rampage. They were able to win their game convincingly. Now they are topping ahead of US Glories, Toulouse, and also LASK. While in Group F, you have Villarreal, Panathinaikos, Standard Rays there. In that pecking order, from the top is Reims topping that particular group. While Group G, AS Roma, Lukaku unsung for them, where Jose Mourinho is coming again to see if he can scoop this. Slavia Praha, Servette, and Sherin Limassol in that pecking order. For Group H is Boniface team, Victor. Bayer Leverkusen are top with 9 out of 3. They got all the matches done. Karabakh of Azerbaijan are second on the law with 6 points. Molde and Haken, the team from Norway and Sweden, actually trailing in that order. Emmanuel, for the fact that these games were played, I'm sure those teams I mentioned earlier, Liverpool, Roma, and Bayer Leverkusen seems to be the team to beat, and they did it convincingly yesterday. Your take?
Well, it's exactly no surprises at all because, yeah, especially Liverpool. Last season, it wasn't that rosy for them. You know, quite a lot of people expected Liverpool to at least be in the UEFA Champions League after the season ends right there in the English Premiership. But here they are, you know, fighting it out in the of the European football. Of course, your club will probably look back and probably talk to the players. You take every opportunity and make it count. And so that's why you see they putting in every energy to get positive results that will probably put smiles on the faces of the fans who are expecting nothing. But at least for the Darling club to go, you know, clinch the trophy. But then clinching the trophy is another big task because you have a lot of, you know, deadly teams in this, you know, league who are also hungry for trophy as well. You mentioned here as well, you know, doing all of the magic, trying to see how he can actually, you know, do this. Having said that much, remember the Europa League, where you know, Jose Mourinho actually, I mean, conference that you say made history that even, you know, brought tears out of his eyes. Right now, he's got another man who has been working with him, you know, delivering already. At the point in time, a lot of people wrote out, you know, Lukaku saying he's not really at his best, or probably wasn't at his best, you know, but you know, it takes a lot of psychologists to talk to a player and get back to his feet and probably start scoring again, and then you see the happiness in him. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that, you know, all of these players and teams doing very well, not forgetting some of our Nigerian players. You mentioned Boniface, who has been something else, if you ask me. I mean, he's the player to watch out for, not only in Africa, but in the world. Right now, he's arguably one of the top forwards in the world, you know. You can't forget to also mention and acknowledge Ademola Lookman and host of other guys. I hope and believe that if we'll probably, you know, make a good advantage, bring out the best out of these boys when they come represent the country, we should be able to conquer any opponent. Having said that, we're still talking football in Europe, and trust me, we can only wait to see what happens when we begin to separate the boys from the men. That's when we get to the knockout stages. At the moment, well, it's still rosy for some teams, but then trust me, when it gets to the knockout stages, you will see quite a lot of surprises. Trust me.
Well, we're waiting to see how the big boys and the men will be separated. Let's see how it goes. Emmanuel, Ahmad there. Now, coming back to you, Ikenna. Games yesterday played in the Europa League. I'm sure to some extent you smiled when you saw Liverpool's score. You know,
Liverpool at this stage of both the stage and the side of the competition, Europa League, they have been there. They know what it takes, but they have left there for some while. Playing at the top level, the Champions League. So coming again to play because of their position at the end of last season, I know they will try to see how they would possibly scoop this. I remember once upon a time Chelsea found themselves at this stage, this side of it, and they went all the way and of course picked it. So this is how you know top clubs. They get into a place they are not supposed to be, and of course they sweep off every hurdle that come their way, and they of course make a whole lot of sense. And at the end of the day, they will be able to catch up with the level that they are supposed to be.
A big one there, talking about the Europa League. Just giving you an update concerning those games that I played yesterday, and also the table. Let's look at the Conference League, the third tier of UEFA competition. Europa Conference League, a lot of games were also played, about 15 matches there. You look at Ghent, where our own Urban Gift was able to score. They played against Bridabich, and they were able to win 5-0. Dinamo Zagreb lost at home against Victoria Pleasant. Lugano won, Club Brugge 3. They really did well away game. Besiktas lost against Bodo Glimt, and you have Fiorentina 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 goals against Kukariki as they were able to win. They are flipping into the other side of the result in the Conference League. You have Genk against Ferencváros, well, Arokudari getting a red card in that game. Aberdeen 2, Pau Salonika of Greece 3. Eintracht Frankfurt also went on rampage 6-0 against HJK Helsinki of Finland. Ludogorets Razgrad 1, Fenerbahce 3. Now, looking at the table of that particular Europa Conference League, is a big one for Lydia topping their group ahead of Bratislava. Ghent as top because they have Gift Urban of Nigeria. Plzeň top in Group C. You have Club Brugge really doing well in Group D with 7 points from 3 matches. Warsaw, that's a team from Poland. Fiorentina really walloping a lot of teams, and now they are doing so well. And you have Pau Salonika, Fenerbahce also topping their own group. Well, from the way it is after the third round, Ahmad, Emmanuel, it seems the likes of Fiorentina are showing their class as one of the best when it comes to playing in Europe this time around in Europa Conference League. Ahmad.
Most definitely. I won't be surprised if they go far. It will be too early for me to say they will go clinch the trophy because you have other teams who are also eyeing the trophy. But then, trust me, I see them making the semis, possibly even the final. So Fiorentina has come out to also prove that they are forced to reckon with as far as this third tier of the UEFA competition is concerned. Our club competition, I should say, is concerned. So let's keep an eye. But then I want to say again, all of the teams topping at the moment are potential champions, okay? So they've proven that they have everything it takes to go clinch the trophy. Lille of France are not doing bad as well. You also have quite a lot of teams who are looking very, very promising. They are showing flashes of potential champions. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, good one there. Coming from Ahmad, Emmanuel, joining us from Benin City. Well, I actually forgot to ask you, how is Benin City? What's happening concerning the competition there? That's the basketball football competition.
Yeah, it's quite a very interesting one. Bring out the best of female football, right here in the heart of the state. Courtesy of the, first lady of the state. I mean, it's something you really need to applaud her for because the facilities put in place, the welfare, the motivation is high, and it's just a pre-season tournament recognized by FIFA, if you ask me. And it's actually bringing the best of football out of all of the teams participating here. And if you go by the records, the teams that won this, tourney, have always been very superb when it comes to the NWFL, Premiership. We also have teams from the Championship playing here, but then they've also given their all. I mean, right now we have the big guns, FC Robo, Edo Queens, and lots of other guys.
Our time is really wrapping up. We want to appreciate you for joining us from Benin City. Thank you so much, Ahmad Emmanuel.
The pleasure is always mine. Thank you, Lord.
Good one. So let's come back to the studio to join Ikenna Okonkwo. Let's look at this particular story. Chelsea wants midfielder Gavi. Gavi is a young lad, and now they go for that particular. Let's look at that story. Chelsea won midfielder Gavi, who Barcelona may sell for £87 million to ease their financial troubles. From the way it is, you see Chelsea scooping this guy's signature.
Well, they can. The Chelsea that we know could scoop any kind of player at all, so far they have the interest. However, even though in recent times, in the past 3 or 4 games, there have been some sort of improvement. So it does not just end in getting big players but the cost of the player, but he also should tell on the performance. He's a young guy, and hopefully, if he comes, I mean, maybe the target is January. I don't know. If he comes, most times players that are bought in January in that quick fire kind of move end up being those that will have to wait till the end of the season before he could see what they would do.
Good one. We just have to go now. Ikenna Okonkwo has been in the studio with us. We had Ahmad Emmanuel Jr. from Benin City over there in Edo State. We appreciate your time with us. For Ikenna Okonkwo, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
I see that smile. It seems your team won yesterday.
Which of the teams is that?
Anyway, Adeni G. Shafes, but it's always business and fitness. Thanks for watching.